Hello again and welcome to Nick's Projects, where today we're going to be replacing this light, well not that one, it's actually this light, the rear tail light I'll call it, on a Tesla Model X. Now you might be able to see from here that if I double click this, we've got this section lit, this section lit, this section not lit, and this section lit. So it's much more visible at night, of course, and not on a bright sunny day. Now I've done this about 2 months ago because this section filled with water, and the chances are if you're watching this video you'll have exactly the same problem. I don't know whether the seal goes on it or whatever. I ended up watching another YouTube video where it says, oh well, you just need to take this thing apart, dry it out, stick it in the oven, dry it off and plug it back in again. Well, that does not work. So I ended up buying one from a breaker on eBay. It cost me about £60, and today I'm going to show you how to do it because I've already taken this out once this year. So let's get started. First things first, of course, you just need to open the boot or the trunk if you're watching this in the States. First things first, this section here just pulls straight down like that. That reveals these two 8mm screws, which I'm going to take off in a second, but we've got a few more bits and bobs to do before that. Next, we're going to use one of these little trim remover tools. I've linked to some of these in the description. They don't last forever, so it's worth getting a few of these, but they're good because you can get behind and find your way along this thing. And we need to pop this whole panel off. Use the removal tool so you don't break the pins behind. Here's the trick here. Just go slow. Oh, there you go. Why did I say so you don't break the pins behind? That's exactly what I'm going to do now, isn't it? Find it and lift it. Come on. There we go. Always sounds like you're breaking stuff when you do stuff like this on cars, but you know. Don't know if you've ever seen my original Volvo video. That was really scary, the first big project. Got a little pin behind here, little connector. Let's have a look how that one works. I think it should just pull straight out. There you go. And then, of course, in the Model X, you've got a lovely big boot to put the bits in as they come off. Next, we're going to take off this section here. And to do that, we need to lift these two little caps here. Then it should pull down. There we go. That one just came off with my fingers, probably because I've done it before. And you can use a little trim removal tool to pull those out. I've got a very similar one to this that I've used before. So again, this is the second one of those. Just lift it out with a screwdriver. If it's at all tight and you can't pull it, use the little removal tool I showed you earlier. Now with those two removed, this whole section is ready to come off. Again, using that little panel remover. Just feel your way around both sides. And it will just start to pop as you hit those plugs. I always think go with the path of least resistance. You know, whatever feels right. Oh. So now I can come in at the back here. Or not. No, that one doesn't seem to work in the same way. There we go. Oh, that was a bit scary, but that panel comes off, and for your reference, look, you can see now the pins. You've got 1, 2, these are just locators, 3, 4 white pins, which are the tougher ones. And those two as well, 5, 6. But then you've also got these little metal pins that come off the back. And actually, look at that, I have snap one. So yeah, be very careful. Why have snap one there? But I don't think it's going to be a problem. And if it is, I will find a way to make sure it sticks. Also something to point out, there's a little light that goes in there. That's just fallen off with this process. I'll make sure that goes back in with a bit of tape or something, or not. It's just held in with some hot glue by the looks of things. So I need to make sure that goes in properly. Okay, so now for the tricky remover screw, you have to push this rubber thing aside and then using a long 8mm socket, connect there start to unscrew. As soon as it's loose, get your fingers in, because you don't want to drop this little screw, and you just want to undo that 8mm nut from the back of the light fitting. There we go. Okay, so next, again, 8mm long socket. Take these off without dropping them, because I've got lots of wires and bits and bobs hanging out, and I haven't disconnected the battery. I don't think you need to for this job. I'm just going to bring that down by hand, but not fully close, because the next bit I need to do is remove this silver trim along here so I can slide the light out. Now, I've done this once before this year, so I've already stuck this trim in place, so it might be a little... Oh no, it's coming off quite nicely. But this trim unclips all the way across, and I used some exterior double-sided tape to put it back on. I do not want to break this. Yeah, I'm wondering... I'm wondering whether I do need to break... Oh no, it's coming off now. Actually, that's a good tip. If you've got one of these, you can push down on the clip and it actually comes out a bit better. So go along, find the clip, and then it comes out that much easier. Don't like the crunchy sounds. There we go. It's really stuck on this side, but it's not a clip on the light, it's just glued on. So you just need to weaken that glue, and then the whole thing should come. There we go. You can see. So if this is the first time you're doing this, you're going to get this horrible gunky stuff. You're going to have to clean all that off. But that is that trim removed. So now that we've removed those 3 bolts at the back, we've removed the trim, this should just lift out, but it's sometimes a little bit sticky. Oh, there we go. Out it comes. And then on the back here, if you look, you'll see there is this plug. Now this plug, I think it's a pinch. Let's have a little look at it. Yeah, can you see the little pinch connector on the back there? So don't just yank it, you've got to push that in and it pulls out like that. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to put on the replacement light and just check that it lights up, to check it's nothing else actually internal to the car, some control system that means this light isn't working. Okay, so let's have a look. This has been on my shelf for a while. I haven't actually checked it. I hope it's okay. So as I say, I just got this, 60 quid, made an offer on eBay. It's obviously come from another Tesla Model X. Oh wow, actually that looks brand new. Wow. Well, if that isn't new, it's certainly refurbished. And I don't believe it. It's the wrong side. Oh no, it's not. It is the right side. Oh my God. Just had a moment there. That is the right side. Thank goodness for that. Yep, all looks good. Let's plug it in and see if it lights up. Now, I always think when you expose parts of the car that, you know, the car sponge or the jet washer doesn't normally reach, I'm a bit of a clean freak. It's always worth, I think, getting a bit of Mr. Muscle and just giving it a wipe down. Because why not? You'll never get to clean that bit again. And it just makes it all that bit closer to factory fresh, right? And then we can reinstall our replacement light. Now, interestingly, I was looking on the side of that light. I'll show you in a second. It's actually 4 years younger than my car, that light. So I reckon it is a brand new replacement part. Maybe someone bought it, went to replace it and realized their problem wasn't the light fixing, it was something else. I hope that's not the case for me. Anyway, look, that's lovely and shiny now. No, I sprayed it onto the cloth, not onto here, because I didn't want to get fluid inside this little connector. Right, let's see whether this all fits and works as it should. So at this stage, I'm just going to place it in the hole. I'm going to clip that back on. Should make a nice sound. Did you hear that click? In it goes. Oh, that looks lovely. I'm just going to hit the old key fob, if I can find them, and see if that lights up. Here we go. Right, that did not light up. Wow. It's not lighting up. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Why wouldn't it be lighting up? Maybe it takes its negative earth from the chassis. Maybe I need to put one bolt on just to... That is definitely not lighting up. Maybe that's why it was 60 quid on eBay. So worth bearing in mind, it is working now. All I did was shut the boot properly, open the boot again, and it lit up. So if you, and it doesn't need the earthing of these, there you go, it's switched off now, but if I click it, maybe they don't light up if it's open. So let me get things out of the way, but if I shut it, it lights up. Open it, it lights up. Weird. Anyway, it works. So I'm now gonna put on those bolts, put it all back together again, and it'll all be lovely. So just reversing everything now. First of all, with these 8mm bolts, making sure they go on nice and smoothly, making sure I'm not crossing the thread as it goes back on. And I'm not tightening them down until I've got all three on, and then I'll tighten them down in sequence in case it has gone on slightly wobbly. This isn't a big job. Don't think about bothering to get Tesla to do this. Okay, just pulling that back again. Yeah, all you need to do is invest in a long 8mm socket and a little screwdriver handle for it if you don't have one. Because this one's the least accessible, I'm going to tighten this one first. Only hand tight, I'm not going to get a ratchet on it or anything crazy because it's a plastic housing, right? Just a quick look at it to check it's all in alignment, and then I'll just tighten these off one by one. And that's good. So if this is the first time you're doing it, this gunky stuff, all you can do, I wouldn't want to put like white spirit or meths or something on the car, just peel it so it's flat. And just rubbing your finger, especially on a hot day like today, ow, it's actually really hot, is enough just to get it along there. Ow. Builds up a bit of friction, bit stingy, bit hot. But that's doing the job, isn't it? There we go. I don't think I'm going to bother, because that's just a tacky surface now. That's ready to take what I'm going to put on next, which is just some sticky double-sided glazing double tape to sort it. And by the way, while I'm here, I should mention the reason I've put this tarpaulin on the ground is because I've learned from experience, painful experience, you drop a screw or anything small on gravel, you will never find it again. It disappears into the never never. So yeah, and for those eagle-eyed among you, you may have noticed earlier, this tiny little clip did actually drop off halfway through me pulling off the chrome trim on the back here, so I can just pop that back on now. Sorted. Okay, next just a quick spray of Mr. Muscle along here, because we've got no exposed terminals or anything. Just basically giving it a clean, and Mr. Muscle is great for the window cleaner stuff. I think it's a great degreasant, just so when I put on what I'm about to put on, it sticks really, really well. And what I am about to put on is this double-sided glazing tape. I'll link to it in the description. This is the stuff, really easy to rip, really, really sticky, and you can just stick it along here. Do you remember I had one broken clip? This will fix that problem. And also at the ends here, I'm going to need some there. To hang on to those end sections. I love this stuff, it works so well. This is definitely a brand new light, there's been no sticky stuff on there before. Got lucky with that, didn't I? Don't know what you can get one for on eBay, but 60 quid seems like a bargain. Don't know what Tesla would charge to replace a light or even supply a light. If you know, Put it in the comments. I'd be interested to know. I like to know when I'm getting a bargain, as I'm sure you do too, otherwise you would not be watching this video. Cool. Now just, I've overdone that one a bit. Now just to unpeel all this stuff, and then we can put the chrome trim on and start putting things back together. The only catch with this stuff is it's really picky. You'll never do it with your fingernail. So get in there with a little screwdriver, I find. Oh, there we go, classic. No, but it normally gives you an edge, and then you can get to it. Or even the corner of a Stanley blade is good. Oh, come on. Why is it being so annoying? There we go. I'm going to have to get rid of that little bit there. Can't have that. There we go. So back on with the shiny chrome trim now. I've revealed all of the stickiness on those pads, and it's just a case of lining up these little tags and popping everything back in. Ooh, that one's not right. There we go. I have to get my window cleaner on here, aren't I? Make it all shiny again. Cool. Lights in, trims on. Now for the trims inside the boot. So on inspection, you probably won't do this because you'll have watched this video and you'll know to look out for them. But these two little tags at the top here, they've both snapped off, which is not ideal. But I've got this little trim at the top here, so I'm going to put some of that double-sided black in there just to make sure it sticks and it never flaps forward again. It's a part of the boot which isn't really put under any stress, so it should be absolutely fine to do that. So let's get some trim on there now. So I'm just going to put a run in from there. I'm not going to go right to the edge because this bit isn't seen. All the way along to that bit there. So that will just stick to the trim and give us that extra bit of grab. Just need that little screwdriver. Picky, picky, picky. Now to make this double tricky, I've also got to get this light into this little piece here. So this piece goes into the bulb, sits in that little hole. Now the problem I've got, as you can see, is it's just popping out again. So I'm going to put a bit of my tape across that just to hold it in place. So now it's just a case of lining everything up and trying to get it back in, which is going to be one of the trickier parts of this job by the looks of things. Oh man. Oh, no. So there's no question this kind of material covered plastic trim has to be knocked back so I can get this in. So you're just going to have to knock that out at either end. Oh wow. I hate these things. You've got to go sharp to get it off. And it's when you go sharp, things break. But that's back now, that's fine. And that's ready, hopefully now. There we go. That's really flat back. Now I can, now I can put that back on again. Really should have chosen a cooler day to do this. What I need to do now is make sure that these long pins line up with the holes and they line everything up. Well, you're probably not seeing this too well, but this is heavy and this is quite hard to film, this part. Okay. And then it's a case of just knocking it back in all the way around and it should hold. So now the final bit. I can hear those loose bits that unclipped hanging around in there, but that is in there now, and that little sticky pad will just hold that in place. Now a little bit of Mr. Muscle to clean that off, and we are very nearly done. Factory fresh. Looks good. Light is well located. I can see it sat in that little socket fine, so that's good. So just one bit of trim left. So next it's back in with these pins, just to hold the bottom of that panel in. It's just to pop it in and push the button. 2 of those to do if you remember from earlier. Easy. And now for this one. This one's slightly more complicated because you've got to put the boot button. Remember, this is the boot button connector. That just connects up. And make sure that's well in there. In fact, you can even test it. Yeah, that's working fine. And now it's just a case of lining up this last panel on here. And when you feel you're confident it is lined up, you've got to just bang it. There we go. Work your way along. Oh, it's a bit proud this side. Oh, push it a little bit. There we go. Lovely. I think that's in now. He says, banging it away. Yeah, that's flush. That's good. Lovely stuff. Right. Last but not least, the very final piece. And this is just going over those screws at the side here. So you see you've got the 2 little holes here. They just line up with those 2. He says, as if it's easy. Oh, you've got to feel your way with this one. And then you just push it up. Note how it tucks behind that light. And then it will hold. And that, I believe, is the job finished. So I've got my Mr. Muscle. Let's close the boot and see if it works. It lights up. Perfect. So that's not such a bad job, really. I reckon 40 minutes maybe to do that. Plus, if you can get the part off of eBay, you might get lucky and get a brand new bit for 60 quid. You might pay a bit more, but I promise you this, it's going to be cheaper than taking it to the Tesla dealership. So that's all for now. As always, if you get anything out of these videos, please do comment, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.